So far, we only had individual and at most 2 speakers, but now we are moving to a multidisciplinary team. So this is a team of 5 speakers who will be speaking about, who will be discussing and sharing their own perspective on co-creation and the outcome on digitizing the appropriate technology in Nepal. So it is titled A Global Local Innovation Approach for Appropriate Technology. And this is a case study in Nepal, and here are the 5 speakers. We have Ben Olfrey, who is the lecturer at Global Disability Innovation Hub, University College in London. Then we have Ramchandra Thapa, who is the Director of Innovation at Geners Technologies. Then we have Mr. Pratistip Lal Shrestha, Assistant Professor at the Department of Mechanical Engineering at KU. We also have Mr. Amrit Ratna Bajacharya, CPO, Certified Prosthetist Orthotist at the Limb Care Nepal Private Limited. And the 5th speaker is Ms. Ganga Gurung. She is the occupational therapist from Bloom Park Private Limited. So in this symposium, we have 3 people who are present here physically, while 2 will be joining us online. So I'll pass the podium to our group of multidisciplinary team.
Hi everybody, Namaste. I'm Ramchandra Thapa, co-founder of GDI Technologies in Nepal. I'm an innovator, development engineer and a social entrepreneur. GDI, the company we established after 2015 earthquake, it proudly holds the legacy of pioneering 3D printing industry in Nepal. Established as an engineering company, we have effortlessly sought its application 360 around. We produced spare parts to fix broken medical equipment at hospitals and sometimes braces and splints for fractured limbs. Today, I'll shortly take you through the journey of how we pivoted from a market-focused engineering company to a leading member of user-focused social network. During COVID-19, we turned our engineering facilities, joining several others, to lead PPE production and other parts and equipment such as oxygen splitter, ventilator parts, and sample collection nasopharyngeal swabs using 3D printing method. We scaled our facility through the support of FCDO UK 8-funded COVID Action Award, where we met people and institutions like Dr. Bain and University College London Global Disability Innovation Hub, and other local team whom you will see after me in today's session. At Zener, users would reach to us for prosthetics, and we addressed some of them somehow. Yes, we did. Potential users of assistive technologies see hope in 3D printing technology due to advancement in technology itself and rising DIY movements through the internet. But we never thought of rehabilitation path and follow-ups after support, because that was never a part of engineering process. It was an integration of healthcare service. After all, we were just an engineering company with some amazing tools, right? We were overwhelmed with new requests full of hope and expectations. Even engineering do have limits, as you all know. Hence, we needed a team for action. Then, we began discussions bringing together experts from GDI Hub and Nepal-based institutions specializing in prosthetics and orthotics development, NGOs working in AT sector, innovation hubs, clinics, and research centers to discuss AT sector development and problem solving on Fridays. Yes, Fridays. Because historically, Nepalese have been working 6 days a week, and Friday is a half working day, you all know. Friday, a day full of fun and enthusiasm. So can these Fridays be the days for empowerment? So, this global local community of engineers and designers, researchers, clinicians, and occupational therapists gave us hope for quality AT product development, and our discussion rooted for the initiation of a wider Enabling Friday consortium, where local and global collaborators joined together to prioritize actions for impact. During the initial weeks, We convened discussions for sustainable community practice and prioritized our work streams by picking assisted products from the matrix of different activities of living. As you can see at the rightmost column, most of us felt the urgency to work around posture and mobility devices such as wheelchair repairs, custom cushions, and other mobility aids such as prosthetics and orthotic devices. Building on this, AT2030 program has supported two work streams for Nepal. One is situational understanding of wheelchair provision in Nepal, and the second is bespoke AT product development to meet unique needs of persons with disabilities. Currently, we are working with the communal vision of empowering people with disabilities by designing together with them. We want to create local impacts through global collaboration and support. Our mission is to collectively build sustainable assistive technology provision in Nepal by supporting infrastructure development through advocacy, evidence-based practice, service system standards, and innovation, working together to meet the needs of persons with disabilities now and in the future. So today, in this session, some of the members of our team, Dr. Ben, Ashish, Amit, and Ganga, will be sharing a full rationale of our work with some examples from Nepal. And now, I'll hand over to Dr. Ben for more. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ramzi. Now, we will have next presenter who is from UK. So he will be online. Ben, if you are hearing me, could you please share the slide? Ben, could you please open your video? So we are not seeing you. Okay, nice. Ben, sorry, we are not hearing you. Text गर्नु आवाज आएको छ Okay. Audio share गर्दैछ share. Okay.
Hello, Dr. Ben. Can you hear us? Okay, would you like to please reshare the video so that you also share your audio? That way we'll have your video as well as your audio. Currently we are seeing you, we also see the video, but we do not hear you. We still can't hear you.
Ben, sorry for the technical issues. I think we have to go for the recorded video. Okay, sure. So be there. Okay. Thank you for understanding.
And to zoom out briefly to where we come at on this, is in essence we're interested in building the potential for local innovation for assistive technology, and I'll expand on this. So a major problem we're interested in is that although globalised mass manufacture is currently vital, it's vital for our society as a whole, it's certainly vital for assistive technology provision, the problem is that the monopoly it has with one-size-fits-all solutions, barriers to repair strategies, barriers to context-specific options, and it makes certain local service elements harder to implement or improve for many low-income countries. The point here is that we need both. We need globalised supply chains and local capacities for production of appropriate devices that get left out. And therefore, we also need innovation practices to grow in order to get there. You can't just jump to it. For GDI Hub and AT2030, we're really interested in seeing how we might achieve this. We need global and local expertise working together in the AT sector to identify routes that could unlock local innovation teams and build the global local ecosystems that could support them. So, from the Enabling Fridays meetings, the rounds just described, we're taking forward a number of different work streams which we see as having good potential for building resilient innovation potential long term. Or at the very least, we can see the next steps that could occur for it. So, to zoom in, we know complex needs are an area that global markets just don't address well at all. So one of those work streams that was decided upon is looking at cases where we could address an individual user need that's often left unprovided for, or if it's possible, it's at great cost, or with devices that have low outcomes. With this, the work must first centre on the participants and our duty of care towards them. Of course, the needs and outcomes of the chosen participants, directed by them with the support of the team, that's paramount. And hopefully that'll be very clear from the others speaking about the way we're approaching these cases. But there's more than this on our minds. The case studies were chosen to address an individual user need now, but with a longer term goal of building the team's capacity to work together well and address further challenges in the future, hopefully. So, as can be seen here, this product service innovation team was established, including Kathmandu University Design Lab, Lincare Prosthetics, Bloom Park, Zenna Technologies, all of which reside in Kathmandu, along with some other support. So that's local academia, P&O Clinic, local OT centre, and local production industry together working on grassroots solution. And it's important to say here, we're not trying to create a new centre or facility from this just yet. The new bit is simply the relationships and working together and keeping on trying to work together better. So with this, we advocate here for building innovation teams that have more hope of achieving systems-based solutions that reflect the provision process in place, or at least the provision process you'd hope to see, which is often not the case, unfortunately. This does bring problems in itself, however. A large team, it's much harder to operate than a smaller one, but we're learning how this can be overcome. But what's clear to us so far is that the combined expert perspectives, including users as experts of their own life and needs, is just so useful through the innovation process. Recognising and overcoming design faults at an earlier stage, better ideas in the first place, as these designs are iterated through. And it's hard to predict who's needed when, really, but the dialogue between different expertise that we've had in the design sessions has just been so rich, and it's hard to artificially create, and it's just been a great learning experience so far. So, crucial to the long-term picture, though, is the development of what the team needs to attract and retain funding, and a major bit of this is evidence. Evidence as well as progress is key in our eyes to the hope that our work and reach can keep expanding in scope. And we're very pleased with this expansion. It's already happening. For example, the EFC innovation team has very recently secured funding for a larger project from UNICEF Nepal, involving new connections to different local actors, CDCA for one, and new global partners who are interested in tech transfer. Because to note there, we shouldn't be reinventing the wheel here, but working out how to do it locally. So that project will look at rapid digital manufacture of children's prosthetics and training of prosthetic delivery sites in Kathmandu and Western Nepal, and we've got other things in the pipeline as well. So, the intention is very much to continue nurturing this innovation ecosystem, keep trying to identify new directions for it to grow, and hopefully we'll report on some of that in the third Society Olympics. But for now, for this one, now I'll hand over to Ashish, Amit and Gunga, who are going to talk through the cases from their perspectives as engineer, prosthetist and occupational therapist in the team. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ben. Hello everyone. I'm Ashish Thapa, a mechanical engineering graduate from Kathmandu University, and now I'm currently working with AT2030 project with Design Lab at Kathmandu University. So in this field, from being academic perspective, when we do things, we think about the product, about the standards, how the COPM standards are measured, how they are used. But while working in the assistive technology, we need to focus about the people, and this is where the clinics and industry come in place. The clinics help us to get the idea, the emotions, and the need of the participants that we can then later on utilize in our design and development of the product. So continuing with the co-design with the user is our main perspective. This is where the clinical assessment is done by PNO and the OT, and we take the data and do the 3D scanning, like digital measuring. Then in our later on design and modification time, we take the data based on the user, what are their need, what are their daily recommendations, how their lifestyle is, and then we implement the design and changes according to their need. Then we later on do the 3D printing and digital manufacturing. Then fitting and testing is done, and during the fitting and testing, if anything is need to be changed, then we do again go back to the design and modification and do our iterations again. So the fabrication process is like that. First we do the scanning to get the digital manufacturing. As you can see in the pictures here. Then we do the digital modeling in the files. Then we do the 3D printing. Then the testing is done. As you can see, some of the iterations that have been made in this small scale. Then when the iteration is good, then we implement the scale up, and the final versions are then again tested. And if anything is needed to be changed again, then we go back to our later on iterations. And as you can see, these are like some of the latest version on the two cases. One is a partial amputee, hand amputee, and one is the diabetic leg amputee. And this is how we use the academic knowledge and the medical clinic professional experience and as well the industry, because without them, from the academic we get the product designed and all, but we need clinical assessment to validate our design, and again the industry to maintain and do the post help with the data. So for tracking our prosthetic, how the user are wearing it, and what are if our condition are validated, we use orthotimer device, that is a small chip that takes the temperature data in some intervals of time. For this case, we have set the time to be the 10 minutes, and there is two graphs where you can see the lower graph represents the temperature with the day, and the upper graph shows the per hour average wear time per day. From this we can conclude that how he is wearing, what is his pattern, and if the wearing device is helping him in his daily activities, or he just saying that he is wearing. So we can monitor the patient from our sensor. So for the later bit, I would like to request Ms. Ganga. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashish. Namaste, everybody. My name is Ganga Gurung, and I'm an occupational therapist. I co-founded Bloom Park with my colleagues, which locally produces or imports assistive devices or products for people and children in Nepal. I, along with Professor of OT, Dr. Rosemary Gordon, provided OT expertise in the bespoke product development in this research. Occupational therapy. It plays a key role in advancing appropriate product. Occupational therapy plays a key role in advancing appropriate product or AT provision by ensuring we develop solutions that are needed, accepted, and used by the person. With an OT lens, we factored in various aspects of the participant's life after injury and amputation, not just physical, but environmental, social, psychosocial, emotional. Their habits, routines, cultural aspects were considered as well. This kept the person in the center of the bespoke product development and co-design. Now, how did we do it? What was the process? Building an occupational profile of the participant by evaluating their body and environment from their perspective, the impact the amputation has caused in their ability to do what they want and need to do or perform, is how we started. When working with a person who has sustained an illness or injury, it is important to understand this impact from their perspective and work together to provide goals that are achievable. Identifying what is important and recording importance. We did that through COPM, that is the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, before and after bespoke prosthetic product use. Third, while collaborating with the team, it was our duty as an OT that we have a shared understanding. The whole team has a shared understanding of the real human needs. The OT partnership provided key insights into the human condition and the needs of the person, and the knowledge was brought into the design decision making. Additional needs of the participant, like education and counseling needs, the need for adaptation, environment in body, exercises, techniques or psychosocial adjustments were also done. Now, with the regular review, reflect and renewing throughout, we enhanced acceptance of the product and to reduce the risk of abandonment of the product, resulting in sustainable solution. Diving into the profile of our participants, participant 1 was a 54 years old man whose primary occupation was driving, but also a small family-run tea shop. Diabetic for the past 20 years. While driving, his greater toe got injured, which gradually led to Lisfranc amputation. Now he had never used a prosthesis, but was mobilizing using with auxiliary crutches. His amputation impacted his work, his self-care, his mobility, his idea of recreation, socialization, amongst other activity limitations for a meaningful life. Now, during the design process, it was important that the processes that we design contribute to the personal priorities and improve the quality of life of the user, and we wanted to enable purposeful and meaningful daily activities of the person. Ongoing considerations for participant 1 was his diabetes, his stump and wound care management, his prevention and health promotion, and an OT addressed all these aspects as well. Here, the COPM scores, May 2023, the occupational performance problems, OPPs, were chosen. The top 5 chosen ones were driving vehicles, toileting, pain on using crutches, community management, playing with grandkids. These are the OPPs the person chooses. And we asked him to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 its importance, the performance that they are at, T1, the satisfaction they feel in that activity, T1, time 1. The average score we see is 3.8 for performance and satisfaction, T1. Now, around 6 months later, with our bespoke product, what changed? The change that we see was dramatic. 11th, November 23, all his OPPs that he chose, performance and satisfaction T2, you see a dramatic improvement. Performance T2, from 3.8, we reached 8.8. Satisfaction T2, from 3.8, we reached 9.6. And we see the improvement and the satisfaction of life. And you also see him standing there running the family business as the main provider of the family. Participant number 2, his profile was a motivated 26-year-old man who enjoys socializing and driving heavy vehicles. But his injury, machine injury, left him with a left partial hand amputation, which hindered his driving license process, a very important occupation for him. Personal and ADLs and IADLs requiring bimanual hand use like dressing, folding his sleeve shirts, which he found meaningful. He faced discrimination from his society, his friends, and he was unable to do his current tailoring work dexterously. Now, during the design process, collaboration with the team for the possibility of a functional hand, prioritizing his needs and wants, but also at the same time keeping the goals achievable. Ongoing considerations for participant number 2 was we provided adaptive devices, education and counseling regarding adaptive devices, desensitization of skin, improving self-esteem, education and counseling about his psychosocial adjustment. This is his COPM score. When we did it in May, the first time, driving vehicles, buttoning and folding shirt sleeves, socialization with friends, these were his prioritized OPPs, and his performance and satisfaction out of them, the average score was 4.3, both, and the results after bespoke product development, that remains to be seen. Thank you.
Okay, my part will be the prosthetics part, like the clinical side. So although we have the various prosthetic options exist here in Nepal, but for this level of amputation, but our mission is just not to provide the service, but our mission is like to create the ecosystem in the low middle income countries to generate the appropriate technology and validate it with the users, right? So this is not like someone come in and just do the research and go back and do other business from that research. So we are here just to create the ecosystem in Nepal, like how we can create the appropriate technology over here. So we have lots of technicians over here who were working from 50 years and all, and they have done lots of good job and good innovations in the local technology, but still we cannot validate it, right? So we don't know how to validate. The technician, they are unaware like how to create the validation of their skill. So we are working on that ecosystem to develop here in Nepal, and we can share it with the low middle income countries. So even we have lots of things, lots of alternatives in this level of in this level of amputation. But okay, so as Ganga shared that we have a session with the client and other multidisciplinary team, and the patient, the client was in the center, and we did the we planned and designed the focus on the patient needs. So the first team session of the designing involves the client as the team member respecting the right to choice approach, right? So administered patient-specific functional scale, and we bring out his need in his daily life activities. So these are the patient history. I think the Ganga already mentioned about all. So this is two prostheses that we are comparing right now. If you see in the left-hand side, then this is the conventional prosthesis that we are making in Nepal, right? And if you see in the right-hand side, this is the 3D prototype, and this one is the third prototype. We are trying to get the better result with the prosthesis. So we have administered patient-specific functional scale like 2 times. One is the first day, day 1, and we got like the average mean of 1.4. That is the 10 to 20% the patient can do, but impaired 80 to 99%. So when it goes to day 84, the functional scale it developed to 6.75. That means 50 to 60% of the patient can, 50 to 60% patient can do the activities, but impaired just 40 to 59%. So if you see the difference is the 5.35, and the cutoff, the minimal detectable change for average score is 2 points. So we are like in the above the minimum detectable changes. So we did the plus M. So if you see the plus M in the day 1, we cannot do the plus M without the prosthesis because he got the ulcer. And if you see, in the day 1 is 32.2 T-score, and in day 30 is 46.4, and in the day 84 is 53.6. Right. So the prosthetic limb user's mobility is increasing. So that's for the conventional prosthesis. And for the 4-square step test, we tested for the balance. So if you see in the day 1, the yellow line is for the conventional. In the day first, he took 21.8 seconds. Right? In day 30, he took just 10.81 seconds, and in day 84, it's decreased to 10.5. So so without prosthesis, when you check the 4-square step test, the balance it was 80. To complete the 4-square step test, it took 27 seconds, and with the 3D printed prosthesis, it was 16.17 seconds in the first day. But as we are ahead with the prototypes, we didn't repeat it with the 3D printing prosthesis. So in 2-minute walk test versus socket comfort score, if we see the socket comfort score on day 1, so it's 0 with the 3D printed prosthesis, and day 30 it's 6. So in day 84 we can't take the socket comfort score because I already mentioned that it's in the prototype stage. So and in the conventional we see the socket comfort is 7, 9 and 9. The 2-minute walk test in the 3D printed prosthesis was not performed because socket comfort score informed was 7. So he felt slightly discomfort but tolerable while donning the 3D printed prosthesis. In conventional prosthesis, like the comfort was 9. That's why we did the 2-minute walk test. So this is a time up and go test. So in time up and go test, you can see the time is decreasing in the conventional prosthesis, and if you see without the prosthesis, it's 28 seconds before and 20 seconds. So even in the 3D, it's 17.5 and 11.6. It's also decreasing. So we stop it in the second test because of the prototype is going on. Okay. So as Mr. Assis already mentioned about the ortho timer, the ortho timer shows us the data of the wearing time. So how many hours the prosthesis is worn by the users. The normal standard recommended hours per day is 8 hours, but if you see the graph, he is using like sometimes more than 15 hours. So when we see the graph with the time, he's also using at the night, right, in 2 a.m. and like he's also using in the sleeping time, but that's not good. So we counsel it then, right? So if you see the data, those low data are like when he's not using the prosthesis. So that means the socket comfort is like aligning with the wearing time, so the comfortness. So, and this is the temperature. If you see the temperature in the conventional prosthesis is not that much altered. It is in the normal. So sometimes it goes up to the 40 degree with the temperature, in the body temperature. Otherwise, it's in the range of 35 to 37 degree, right? So even the conventional prosthesis do not alter the temperature inside the prosthesis. So the mean T-score improved from 32.2 to 53.6. That is 63.9% is like
which is little higher than the mean t-score of users in development of the sample. The developmental of the sample is the sample that took when the Classium was developed. So the 63.9% is like the users is more mobile with the prosthesis than those sample data. The balance was improved with the days. The first day of using prosthesis showed great changes in the balance in like 4 square step tests. Our thought is making technology appropriate rather than just fulfilling the need of importing it from the outside, right? So the balance goes good. So in 2-minute work test in 3D printed prosthesis was not performed. I already said that. The 2-minute work test in 3D printed prosthesis was not performed because the socket comfort score in form was just 6 to 7. He felt slightly discomfort but tolerable while donning the 3D prosthesis. In conventional prosthesis, socket comfort score was 9 and he felt very mild discomfort. So our participants worked on average 149.72 meter on day 84. During the 2-minute walk test, which is much lower than able-bodied person, that is the normal able-bodied person walks like 182 to 200 meter, but longer than all lower limb prosthesis users, that is 111.4, like standard deviation, like plus minus 49.4, but very similar to that of the transtibial users. So the person with the partial foot should walk or should work more than the transtibial users, but what we thought is the distance covered just because of the deformities that came up with the amputation level, that is the plantar flexion and the inversion in the most of the deformities that we can see in this level of the amputation. So distances covered are the reflection of walking speed. In our study is 74.8 meter per minute. Right. So in others research, in other study, we have observed that the speed was 82.3 meter per minute. So like it's nearly to the study. So the functional mobility was also improved with the talk test. So with the waiting time is also improved, was also improved. It was much lesser than cutoff score of talk test. We stopped the talk test without and with the 3D prosthesis because in both patients felt uncomfortable, and we are designing another device for him. So as I said, the conclusion is we are developing an ecosystem to develop a co-creation utilizing the local skill of the local technicians, local technologists, local clinicians in low middle income countries for appropriate technology, and is the way out for sustainability. Just when we are talking about the sustainability, it's just not the resources that we get it from outside. It's not just the resources of knowledge that we can get from outside. It is the skill that we have in our country, those who are working from long years, like 30 to 35 years, we can have those skill in our country and can build the capacity to develop the sustainability of the prosthetic service. Thank you.
Thanks to the multidisciplinary team for a wonderful presentation with a lot of global, local innovation approach for the appropriate technology. And we hope to learn some more about these studies. And we'd like to thank all 5 members of the group. Thank you so much for the presentation. And now we move to another speaker. May I request Ms. Sarah Rixby? I see you. Ms. Sarah Rixby, she is the speech and language pathologist at the